What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video, and in today's video I'm going to be doing a video that was supposed to be released last week, but obviously we had the whole Thorpe Park teaser thing, so I kind of postponed it until this week. So today we're going to be taking a look at the future of Saw Alive. Now, some of the things I'm going to mention in this video will relate to that teaser video that came out last week, so definitely go check that video out of mine because it will sort of provide a little bit of context. However, last week's video I did try and sort of avoid Saw Alive because I did want to focus it in this video, so that is what you're going to be seeing today. So, without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, so moving into my first theory, I believe that Saw Alive will become a restaurant. Now, the main reason why I believe this will happen is because Saw Alive actually did used to be a restaurant. If you didn't know, it was sort of like a restaurant that was sort of, obviously, with Saw Alive being a building that's floating on the water. That was the whole sort of theme of it. I don't really know too much about it, but I do definitely know that it used to be a restaurant. And who knows, they could definitely bring this back. Like I said, linking back to last week's video, where I talked about potential implementation of a futuristic area. Possibly, if we saw the Lost City turned into a futuristic area, we could possibly see the Saw Alive building being reused and, you know, maybe create like a restaurant. Obviously, restaurants are getting quite big in theme parks now. Obviously, you have the roller coaster restaurant over at Alton Towers. You have, obviously, Ogre's Cantina down at Disney. A lot of the Disney parks do have quite a few restaurants that are themed. So maybe Thorpe may try to bring that into their park. Obviously, we've seen stuff like Finn's Bar and Grill, which is sort of a semi-themed restaurant. So, you know, this could definitely happen, obviously, especially with the history of Saw Alive, and obviously knowing that it used to be a restaurant. This theory is totally viable. Now, this also carries over to all the different sort of themes it could be. You know, if it was, like, say, if they're really going there and making a jungle theme to extend on the jungle over by I'm a Celebrity, well, what used to be I'm a Celebrity, you know, Saw Alive's building could be used for that. Just sort of, you know, a themed restaurant of some kind. Potentially, as well as this, we could be seeing maybe a Saw restaurant, maybe a restaurant themed to Saw, because obviously, whether or not this is going to be changed, but Saw is still at Thorpe Park, and, you know, obviously Saw Alive is next to it, so potentially tying in with, like, the Saw area, they could bring it back as, like, a Saw-themed restaurant. This is probably the most likely theory I'm going to be talking about in today's video, but who really likes theories that are more plausible? Everybody loves the theories that are more outlandish and wild, so we're going to get into one of them now. Okay, so this next theory is a little bit of a stretch, but I can definitely see this happening, and that is the building being turned into a dungeon. Now, if you didn't already know, Merlin Entertainment, who owns places like Thorpe Park, Chesterton, Alton Towers, they also do own the Dungeons sort of brand. Now, the Dungeons are basically like, you know, walkthrough experiences that take you back in the past. Obviously, it's supposed to be quite scary, and yeah, it basically brings you back into the olden times, obviously, with, like, being called the Dungeons, and yeah, it's basically just like a scare attraction. Now, earlier this year, or basically this year, Alton Towers did implement a Dungeons in their park. Now, this was a little bit of a, you know, sort of in and RM beforehand, like, are they going to do it, are they not? But now we know that Alton Towers have made this attraction into a thing. Obviously, it is an upcharge attraction. It is only £5 for annual pass holders, but it is only £7 for a standard person, and I would say it's absolutely worth the money. And I do believe that there's been some very, very good reviews for this, and the response to the public has been amazing. Like, even when I headed up to Towers this year in the summer, there were still loads of people queuing outside when we were going into the attraction. So it is definitely a really popular attraction, which is one of the main reasons why I can see it being implemented into Thorpe Park. Mainly because, you know, it would kind of fit in with the Saw theme, you know. I think that area of the park should be called its own thing. I don't really think that Saw should be part of Old Town. I think that should be sort of part of its own area. But it would definitely fit the theme of sort of, you know, a sinister sort of area. So, yeah, I think this is perfectly plausible. Even though Thorpe doesn't really have a lot of, you know, folklore surrounding it, you can still have all the classic ones like the Plague Doctor, the Judge, you know, maybe have it on a smaller sort of scale to the Alton Towers one, maybe play a little bit less, and hopefully it will fix the absolute atrocity of Jungle Escape. So, yeah, this is probably not really, you know, that plausible. It probably won't happen, but still, it is something that I did want to mention in this video. Now, the next thing I'm going to be talking about is the possible removal of Saw Alive. Now, obviously, Saw Alive has been there for ages. Obviously, it has been closed down now. It is not called Saw Alive. Well, not as we know of. Obviously, all the signs have been painted over. There are no signs on like the entrance and stuff. So this leads me to believe that we could possibly see this being, you know, done away with. And this is probably quite a bit of a weird theory, but I do believe we could be seeing some sort of new transportation system. Now, this sort of theory did spark from a Digital Dan video, so definitely go check him out. I'll leave the video in the link in the description, but he did explain that maybe if Thorpe, you know, implemented a hotel that was off the island, possibly we could be seeing some form of transport to the island. Now, I believe this could be the case. Now, not directly copying Digital Dan's theory, but I do believe we could see some sort of island transportation. Maybe we could be seeing at the entrance of the park, you sort of veering off to the left, and maybe there could be more of a sort of like a special sort of paid way to get onto the island, maybe, you know, giving you a tour around, and then obviously docking up where Sora Alive was. Now, this is a little bit outlandish, but, you know, it's still kind of plausible. Like I said, you know, it could definitely happen if it was part of a hotel, but I do think this could definitely happen, you know, for just the general sort of customer standpoint. Obviously, yeah, walking over the bridge is cool and all, but imagine going onto the island on a boat, especially on like a really sunny day with the, you know, the sun rising up. It would look really, really cool and would be more of an interesting way to enter the island. Okay, so my next sort of theory isn't really an attraction, but more of an event. Now, obviously, if you've been to Thorpe Park this year or know a little bit about it, you will know that Thorpe did implement quite a lot of events through the year. We had Game Effects, obviously Jungle Escape was added throughout the year. We had Bountzilla, obviously Fright Nights, which is basically a given. But we did have quite a lot of these sort of seasonal events. Now, perhaps, obviously, with the success of Bountzilla, possibly we could be seeing maybe a water sports sort of event that goes on at the park, maybe possibly being an upcharge attraction, possibly like Bountzilla but an inflatable on the water. That could be pretty cool. Obviously, if you've been or, you know, been around the Thorpe Park area before, you will know that they do water sports on the sort of on the water that surrounds the island. They do like water skiing and stuff. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. I do not know at all anything about it, but potentially we could we could potentially be seeing something like Bountzilla in the water. Obviously, like I said, that's a bit of a stretch, but, you know, it's definitely a possibility. Like I said, with the success of Bountzilla, this could easily happen, and not just something like that, possibly some other kind of water sports. Not really sure what, because like I said, I don't do a lot of water sports, but, you know, think of something that's plausible for an event on the water, and, you know, this could potentially happen. Like I said, if they're going to carry on with these events, why not make them a bit more interesting and fun as they go on? Like I said, something like this most likely would be an upcharge attraction. However, you know, it'd still be something new at the park. Now, my next theory is a little bit more plausible than my others. Now, obviously, with the Sora Alive building already just sitting there, obviously you've still got all the queue line and everything, be a bit of a waste to just strip it right away. Now, one of my theories that is stuck in my head is the fact that we could potentially be seeing a brand new walkthrough attraction. Now, whether or not it is related to Sora again, you know, is completely up to people's perspectives. However, I do believe we could be seeing some sort of walkthrough attraction, potentially maybe being free, but maybe not, obviously, because obviously they've got to pay the actors that are within, which would be a little bit difficult just off of what they earn every day. That is the main reason why there is quite a few upcharge attractions, is because of that reason. However, we could be seeing sort of a walkthrough attraction. I know it's kind of links back to the dungeons, but something maybe not themed to the dungeons and more of its own unique thing could be implemented in. Like I said, either making something to do with Saw, or even potentially maybe making a walkthrough attraction that's related to Colossus or the Lost City, because we do know that it is kind of on the sidelines of that. So whether or not it is technically classed as the Lost City or Old Town is beyond me, but it is, in my opinion, it's closer to the Lost City than it is to Old Town. So potentially something like that could 100% happen. Yeah, that's sort of something that was just, you know, circulating around my brain, and I was just like, oh, well, I might as well mention it as something. But like I said, it does link back to really the dungeons. I feel like that'd be a complete missed opportunity if they didn't do that. So that is the end of today's video. If you did enjoy it, make sure to subscribe if you're liking the content. Obviously, I've got a bunch of other theme park videos on my channel if you want to check them out. Like I said, go and check out my video that I posted last week that was on the possible new teaser for a new attraction at Thorpe Park Resort. Like I said, that does kind of link to this video in a bit. So, without further ado, I will see you guys later.